oyagala okumanya ebiriwo, ebyaliwo, oba ebigenda okubaawo. Program Tambula n'okumanya eggose. Tambula n'okumanya ku MRU TV ne Royal FM.
Located in North Africa along the Mediterranean Sea, Algeria is the largest country in Africa and one of the most historically rich nations on the continent. Its history stretches back thousands of years. Ancient civilizations, including the barbarous Algeria's indigenous people, inherited the region long before foreign powers arrived. Over time, the land was influenced by the Phoenicians, Romans, Arabs, and Ottoman rulers. During the 16th century, Algeria became part of the Ottoman Empire, where it remained under Ottoman authority for more than 300 years. However, in 1830, everything changed when France invaded Algeria and established colonial rule. For more than a century, the French controlled the country, taking land from local communities and imposing their political and economic systems. Many Algerians resisted colonial domination, and tensions grew over time. In 1954, a nationalist movement known as the National Liberation Front launched an armed struggle against French rule. This conflict became the Algerian War of Independence, one of the most violent anti-colonial wars of the 20th century. After 8 years of war, Algeria finally gained independence in 1962. The newly independent nation now faced a new challenge: building a government and leading the country towards stability and development. This responsibility fell to a series of presidents who shaped the political destiny of Algeria. The first president of independent Algeria was Ahmed Ben Bella. Ben Bella was a revolutionary leader and one of the founders of the independent movement. After independence, he became a symbol of the new Algeria. When he became president in 1963, Ben Bella attempted to build a socialist state inspired by revolutionary ideas. His leadership style was charismatic but centralized. He believed strong leadership was necessary to rebuild the country after colonial rule. During his presidency, Ben Bella introduced major reforms: redistribution of agricultural land from former colonial owners of Algerian farmers, nationalization of industries and businesses, expansion of education and social welfare programs. Ben Bella also positioned Algeria as a leader of global revolutionary politics, supporting anti-colonial movements of Africa and other parts of the world. However, his government was criticized for concentrating power and weakening political opposition. After the coup, Farid Boumediene became Algeria's new leader. Boumediene ruled with a strong military-backed government and focused on building a powerful state. Unlike Ben Bella's charismatic leadership style, Boumediene was known for being quiet, disciplined, and strategic. One of his most important decisions was the nationalization of Algeria's oil and gas industry in 1971, which gave the government full control over the country's natural resources. This decision greatly increased national revenue. Under Boumediene's rule, large industrial projects were created, Education and universities expanded rapidly. Algeria became an influential voice in the developing world. However, political freedoms were limited because the government operated under a one-party system dominated by the National Liberation Front. Despite criticism, Boumediene is often remembered as a leader who strengthened Algeria's economy and national independence. He remained president until his death in 1978. Following Boumediene's death, Chadli Benjedid became president. Benjedid's leadership style was more moderate and less authoritarian compared to his predecessor. He attempted to reform the economy by reducing strict government control and encouraging private businesses. However, Algeria's economy depended heavily on oil. When global oil prices dropped in the 1980s, the country faced severe economic problems. Unemployment increased, and living conditions worsened. In 1988, protests erupted across the country, demanding political reforms. As a response, Benjedid introduced a multi-party political system, allowing opposition parties to participate in elections for the first time. However, when an Islamist political party appeared likely to win the elections in 1991, the military cancelled the election. This decision led to a violent conflict known as the Algerian Civil War. Benjedid resigned in 1992 as the country entered one of its darkest periods. In an attempt to stabilize the nation, veteran revolutionary leader Mohamed Boudiaf was brought back from exile to become president. Boudiaf was respected for his integrity and promised to fight corruption and reform the government. His leadership style was direct and reform-oriented, and he sought to restore trust in the state. However, tragedy struck. Only a few months after taking office, Boudiaf was assassinated during a public speech in 1992. His death shocked the nation and deepened the political crisis.
The whole world's looking part of your nation. I'm so proud to follow you day and night. You sacrifice, led us from darkness to light tonight until the end of my
During the Civil War, Liamin Zero became president in 1994. Zero was a military leader who attempted to balance security with political reform. His leadership focused on restoring stability while fighting armed insurgent groups. At the same time, he encouraged dialogue and political reforms to reduce tensions. His presidency helped create conditions for future peace initiatives. In 1999, Zero stepped down and called for new elections. The next president, Abdelaziz Bouteflika, would become Algeria's longest-serving leader. Bouteflika's leadership style combined diplomacy, political negotiation, and strong presidential authority. His most significant achievement was introducing a national reconciliation policy that helped end the civil war. This program allowed many former fighters to return to civilian life and helped restore stability. During his presidency, major infrastructure projects were built. Oil revenues strengthened the economy. Algeria expanded its diplomatic influence in Africa and the Middle East. However, critics accused his government of corruption and lack of political reform. By 2019, large protests erupted when Bouteflika attempted to run for another presidential term despite serious health problems. These demonstrations became known as the 2019 Algerian protests. Facing nationwide pressure, Bouteflika resigned in April 2019. Following the protests, Abdelmadjid Tebboune was elected president in December 2019. His leadership represents the current political era of Algeria. Tebboune has promised reforms aimed at fighting corruption, improving governance, and diversifying the economy. He has also introduced constitutional reforms intended to strengthen democratic institutions. Algeria still faces challenges including economic diversification, unemployment, and continued demands for political reforms from citizens. The history of Algeria is deeply connected to the leaders who guided the nation after independence. From the revolutionary vision of Ahmed bin Bella to the state-building policies of Ouari Boumediene, from the reconciliation efforts of Abdelaziz Bouteflika to the current leadership of Abdelmadjid Tebboune, each president has played a role in shaping modern Algeria. Their successes, challenges, and decisions continue to influence the country's political and social development today.
أرجو لقاء